This is where the White Lotus Season 3 was filmed. And this is the landfill next door. Koh Samui, the island hotspot drawing in tourists from all over the world, is actually in the middle of a trash crisis.
เหม็นมากค่ะ
It's also running out of water, fast.
เพราะว่าสมุยเนี่ยมันน้ำใช้ไม่ค่อยพอไม่มีด้วย
The Thai government is luring film productions like the White Lotus to draw more tourism. But with an island already facing a drought and trash crisis, can Koh Samui survive the White Lotus effect? So what is the White Lotus effect?
White Lotus.
White Lotus.
White Lotus fever has transitioned to widespread wanderlust.
After season 2 aired, searches for Sicily doubled, hotels were suddenly booked for months, and hotspots like this beach became even more crowded.
We saw in Italy at least a 50% increase year on year in terms of people's interest in going.
We have welcomed 10,000s of guests.
So how are locals feeling about a similar thing happening in Koh Samui?
My first thought was, wow, they're going to bring a lot of tourism to the area.
Sai Charu Kalasa works as the front of house manager at this luxury hotel.
When the tourism grows, I grow. And when it goes down, I go down as well, especially, for example, during the pandemic.
Here's a chart showing tourism numbers to Thailand over the last 10 years. You can see the hit they took during the pandemic and are still not fully recovered. This is a big deal in a country where tourism makes up as much as 12% of its GDP. Thailand has set the record-setting goal of attracting 40 million international tourists in 2025. The White Lotus is already helping.
We're seeing, since the word has got out in terms of it being in Thailand, a big spike in increase of people wanting to go to these places as well. So, easily into the sort of 30-40% in terms of inquiries already. And that's before it's even come to air.
But there's a problem. A few miles away from the luxury hotels and endless beaches sits this. Koh Samui's landfill, a mountain of over 150 tons of rubbish waiting to be shipped to the mainland. The island's incinerator broke down more than a decade ago and hasn't been replaced. Even though she lives about 1 kilometre from the landfill, Samaporn Boonsa says that the smell of trash makes its way into her home every day.
ก็จะตกตะกอนที่เราอยู่ใกล้กองขยะนะคะที่เราต้องเจอเลยก็คือ1ต้องอดทนเรื่องกลิ่น2ก็คือความเสี่ยงเรื่องน้ำเสียอันนี้ก็คือเป็นสิ่งที่แบบว่าเราต้องทนถ้าเรายังไม่ย้ายออกจากตรงนี้เราก็ต้องอยู่แบบนี้ค่ะแล้วถ้า
On top of this, wastewater from the landfill has polluted the local canal. This has forced her to buy a water filter for washing and cleaning, as well as bottles of water for drinking. Samaporn is frustrated that the local government seems to prioritise tourism over the well-being of her and her neighbours.
รู้สึกไม่ยุติธรรมกับชุมชนตรงนี้นะคะทุกคนร่วมสร้างขยะแต่ทำไมคนตรงนี้ต้องมารับกรรมจากขยะที่ทุกคนทิ้ง
Samaporn has good reason to be sceptical of a tourism boom. The thing is, Thailand has been here before. It happened more than 20 years ago with the release of an international hit, The Beach.
Somewhere, paradise must exist.
The Leonardo DiCaprio film was shot on location at Maya Bay on the Thai island of Phi Phi Lay, drawing millions to this beach.
Everybody can see it, there's so many people.
This wreaked havoc on the local ecosystem, so much so that in 2018 it had to be closed down. After it was reopened in 2022, strict limits were placed on the amount of tourists that could visit per day.
We don't talk about, closing everywhere, but I think we're talking about managing it wisely.
With Koh Samui, Thailand has a second chance, but there is a major problem. The island is running out of water.
วันนี้มีออเดอร์อยู่เช้านี้นะประมาณ5-6ประมาณ7แต่เดี๋ยวมันก็จะโทรเข้ามาเรื่อยๆ
The water crisis has forced Koh Samui to rely on private sellers like Mr. Parasat Langlongsa.
เราก็เอารถเทียบเพื่อส่งน้ำลงรถแล้วก็เอาไปส่งลูกค้า
Known locally as water runners, they charge around $7 per delivery of 2,000 litres. These costs are especially hard on residents and businesses.
ได้รับประโยชน์จากการท่องเที่ยวเยอะมากเพราะลูกค้าส่วนมากเนี่ยจะเป็นคนต่างชาติก็เยอะนะครับเพราะการท่องเที่ยวนี่เราบูมเรื่องการท่องเที่ยวเสมอแต่สมุยลำบากอยู่อย่างเดียวคือน้ำ
For most tourists, this is the Koh Samui they are familiar with. During the Thai New Year, the island transforms into a giant water fight. But for a lot of residents, this is closer to reality.
It used to be like really this, you can see like the point of here.
Dr. Kanapa Chil-chan was born and raised here. Now, she's a researcher working on water-saving projects on the island.
This year we face a critical water shortage because it started to dry since like the early of the year. We're supposed to have like monsoon and heavy rains, but now it's still so dry.
An undersea pipeline supplies the island with around 21,000 cubic meters of water a day. Short of the 30,000 cubic meters the local government says the island desperately needs. Kanapa says tourism is making the problem worse.
There are a lot of overconsumption, especially from the tourism sector. Include like resorts, restaurants, pool villa. We have a lot of pool villas, and also the luxury hotel that consume a lot of water.
We took these concerns about Koh Samui's infrastructure to the island's mayor. To our surprise, he admitted that they are not prepared.
คือจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยตอนนี้เราก็ต้องยอมรับว่าเรายังไม่เสถียรเท่าไหร่ในการรองรับก็ใช่
He said the island is starting some preparations. It is expanding its airport facilities to increase flights onto the island. And there are plans to build a new pipeline to aid the island's water shortage and fix the broken incinerator. But as of publication, the dates for these haven't been set.
We're not asking for much, but safety on the road. We have enough lights, electricity. We have enough water for business.
In the meantime, the country's tourism agency is doubling down on their strategy to lure film and TV shows here.
They are filming in Thailand now at the moment. I'm very happy.
This is Sirupakul Charasamut. He was part of the White Lotus deal which forked over $4 million in incentives to HBO, which didn't respond to requests to comment for this.
We did a big celebrations after they say yes, because that was, one of a kind, meaningful moment for Thailand.
It's part of something much bigger happening here. In 2023, the country brought in a record $190 million through film productions. Charasamut says this benefits all parts of the Thai economy.
150 at least movie were filmed here in Thailand. If we keep this momentum with the special offer, I'm quite optimistic about the Thailand filming location in the future.
A few miles down the road from where the White Lotus was shot, there is a buzz in the air.
Yes, I heard about White Lotus.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course, I heard about it.
I can see new developments. I can see hotel opening up.
Well, I hope it doesn't get too famous and popular, because then it gets expensive here.
More than 20 years after the release of the beach in theatres, Kanapa is worried that the island she grew up on is making similar mistakes.
I don't think like majority of the money from the tourism sector go to local people, local community. I think it's go to the big business, big investor. But I don't see this is enough.
Our main pool is the most relaxing pool. We know already what's gonna happen. We know already what is coming. We had a lesson from the Maya beach, and I'm sure that we can do it better this time.
Thank you so much for watching. Producing this really made me think about how the need for more tourism is often unquestioned. But should it be? Let me know what you think in the comments.